YouTube, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and welcome back to YouTube channel, everybody. And today we're doing a list that's of my own making. Today we are doing my top 5 favorite animals. The reason why I want to do this is because about 2 weeks ago, I went to the zoo during spring break, and I gotta tell you, it makes me realize why Animal Kingdom is my favorite Disney park now. And so here are my top favorite animals. It's not just land animals. I also included some sea animals and maybe some other things in there. So let's go in and get started talking about my top 5 favorite animals. So yeah, I decided to include sea creatures on here. And honestly, of all the sea creatures, sea turtles are just the most interesting creatures of all of them. Mainly because ever since I saw Finding Nemo, I've always loved Crush. He's always been one of my favorites. But really, the story of sea turtles is actually really interesting. Where you have these turtles that would come on the beaches. On the beaches that we go and have fun and play and spend the day at. And they lay their eggs there, go back into the ocean, wait for their eggs to hatch. And then it's up to the baby turtles to go find their mom and swim back into the ocean. And just that little story right there is interesting to me. Me personally, I would love to just see a whole film dedicated to that sort of storyline, where a mother lays her eggs and swims back into the ocean and the babies have to find their mom. That would be just a simple premise. I want to see that. But me personally, just the idea of that the idea of all of them is just, it's great. Sea turtles are the most interesting sea creatures on the planet. Now, I actually debated whether putting tigers on this list, because when you think about it, I actually have another favorite big cat out there, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for me, tigers are ones that, you know, what I feel like in movies, they don't really portray themselves as these big cats where they're fierce or something like that, but they are pretty fierce. One thing in particular, in Lion King, they used tiger roars instead of lion roars because lion roars aren't as fierce or ferocious as a tiger roar. So they decided to use a tiger roar to do that. But I think the thing I really love about tigers is, first off, they are just majestic creatures. They are beautiful to look at, especially up close in person. They are beautiful creatures, but also they just kind of have this sadness to them, that they're always going through something emotional. And one thing's for certain, we got a new, we're getting a new tiger documentary for Disney Nature in a couple weeks, and I'm actually really excited for that. And I'm actually watching every other Disney Nature film that I haven't seen yet. So that's going to be really exciting. But overall, just tigers are majestic creatures, and they're some of the most interesting creatures on this planet. Now, of course, I am a big monkey guy, and I, of course, do love monkeys. They're some of the most adorable creatures, whether it's chimpanzees or spider monkeys or whatever type of monkey you want to call it. I love monkeys, and me personally, of our human ape sort of animal, apes, gorillas are absolutely some of the best monkey type animals that I love. And I think part of the best thing about them is there's so much, because they look almost human, there's so much emotion you can tell from their faces, and just so much you can say, so much stuff you can do, where it's like, first off, like tigers, they're really majestic creatures, but more importantly, they're also these creatures that, like, it's kind of exciting to know of how badly they can kill you. Like, I went to the zoo 2 weeks ago, and we saw the gorillas, and when they're running, you hear them running, like, you hear the thumps, and then you heard this big boom. If you ever seen that video on YouTube where the gorilla bangs into the glass and it literally breaks the glass and makes it crack, it's brilliant, but it's also frightening and terrifying. But that's kind of why I like it. No wonder why people like King Kong so much. And with elephants, obviously, I have a massive love for elephants. I think one of the big elephant characters that I used to love growing up as a kid in a movie or a television show was Fluffy the Elephant, who was Oscar the Grouch's pet elephant on Sesame Street. I think this is the perfect video to mention that because I've actually been obsessed with Sesame Street for about a week now. I've gotten back into that groove. It's one of my favorite shows. Don't hate on me. It's a great show. I don't care if we're 17 or whatever. Let me love it. Anyway, but yeah, elephants are just first off, they're majestic creatures. If you ever watched the Disney nature film documentary for elephants, it's a gorgeous documentary. But it also just like with that documentary, I feel like it actually shows what the elephants actually go through, like what African elephants go through. The elephants that I see at the zoos all the time, they just stand there or eat food. I want to see them be ferocious. I want to see them do something. I want to see a baby elephant play around. I'm tired of them just standing there, like, do something. Like, come on. And even, like, I even remember seeing the elephants at the zoo. When I saw them, I was like, this looks like a statue. But you also realize they're all covered in mud because of the sun. And when they're moving, it is absolutely gorgeous, but also kind of frightening. Oh, such a brilliant animal. Love it. I also love how they're also smart, too. So, yeah. And for me, the African lion is easily my favorite animal of all time. And me personally, I just love learning about lions. I love learning about them whenever, like, they're just the coolest lions. And I think they're just the coolest cats. They're the coolest animals on the planet. They're the king of the jungle. They are everything. And I think what makes them just so great is that, you know, they're known to be the king of the jungle. And for that reason, they're also the king of all animal life, of all mammal life. When you look at, whenever you just see a lion, you immediately think of Lion King. That's the brilliance of seeing a lion in person. But yeah, that's my top 5 favorite animals. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Also, don't forget to drop down your favorite animals down below if you have any. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.